Did you know offshore finance hides secrets richer than you can imagine? Where do the wealthiest hide their money to avoid taxes and prying eyes? For centuries, the answer has often been found not on solid ground, but adrift on vast blue oceans. These are the secret islands of offshore finance, places often synonymous with secrecy, tax avoidance, and for some, outright illegality. They are jurisdictions that offer a unique financial ecosystem, tailored to the needs of those seeking to shield their assets from the scrutiny of governments and the demands of the public purse. But what exactly are these havens, and how do they operate? The global financial map is dotted with these enigmatic territories. They are not merely tropical paradises, they are strategic hubs, meticulously designed to attract capital. Think of the Cayman Islands, a former turtle breeding ground that since the 1960s has transformed into a global financial powerhouse, home to over 100,000 registered companies. Or consider Bermuda, a British overseas territory that has become a leading domicile for captive insurance and investment funds. These places thrive by offering the ultimate commodity, discretion. They have sophisticated legal frameworks designed to protect the anonymity of their clients and the confidentiality of their transactions, often far beyond what is available in mainland jurisdictions. The appeal of offshore financial centers is multifaceted. For corporations, it's about tax efficiency. By establishing subsidiaries in these low-tax jurisdictions, multinational companies can significantly reduce their global tax liabilities. Profits booked in places like the British Virgin Islands, for instance, may face little to no corporate taxation, allowing companies to retain more earnings. For wealthy individuals, particularly those with complex international dealings, offshore accounts offer a shield against aggressive tax collection and, in some contexts, against prying eyes that may be monitoring activities closer to home. It's about control, privacy, and the ability to manage wealth with fewer constraints. But how do these islands, often small and geographically remote, manage to wield such immense financial power? It's a complex interplay of legislation, international finance, and a shrewd understanding of global economic trends. These jurisdictions actively market themselves to international investors and corporations, emphasizing their stable political environments, robust legal systems, and commitment to financial secrecy. They don't necessarily compete on interest rates or investment opportunities, but on regulatory arbitrage, offering a different set of rules. This has led to an explosion in the incorporation of shell companies, entities that exist on paper but have no real physical operations, serving purely as vehicles for financial transactions and asset holding. The infrastructure supporting offshore finance is remarkably sophisticated. While the image might be of remote sandy cays, the reality involves cutting-edge telecommunications, secure data centers, and a highly skilled workforce of lawyers, accountants, and financial advisors. These professionals are the architects of complex financial structures, navigating international law and tax treaties to ensure their clients' assets are protected and their financial strategies are executed seamlessly. The secrecy isn't just about hiding assets, it's about creating a parallel financial universe where transactions can occur with a degree of privacy and control that is increasingly rare in our transparent digital age. However, this system is not without its dark side. The very secrecy that attracts legitimate wealth can also be exploited by criminals. Offshore financial centers have, in the past, been implicated in money laundering, corruption, and the financing of illicit activities. The famous Panama Papers leak in 2016 and subsequent revelations like the Paradise Papers exposed the vast scale of offshore wealth and the ways in which it could be used to obscure the origins of funds, evade sanctions, and hide corrupt gains. These leaks revealed intricate networks of shell companies and offshore accounts linked to politicians, business leaders, and criminals worldwide, highlighting the challenge of oversight. In response to growing international pressure and the damaging revelations of leaks, there has been a concerted effort to increase transparency and combat financial crime. Organizations like the OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, have been instrumental in pushing for global standards, such as the Common Reporting Standard, CRS, which aims to exchange taxpayer information automatically between countries. This initiative forces financial institutions to identify the tax residency of account holders and report this information to their home tax authorities. The era of impenetrable secrecy is slowly but surely beginning to erode, forcing offshore centers to adapt. Despite these reforms, the offshore world remains remarkably resilient. While some jurisdictions have tightened their regulations, others have found ways to adapt, offering new forms of financial services. The concept of beneficial ownership, identifying the real individuals who ultimately own or control assets, remains a significant challenge. Shell companies can be structured through layers of intermediaries, involving multiple jurisdictions and trusts, making it incredibly difficult for authorities to trace the ultimate beneficiaries. It's a constant cat-and-mouse game between regulators seeking transparency and those intent on maintaining financial privacy through intricate corporate labyrinths. For the islands themselves, offshore finance represents a double-edged sword. It has powered economic growth, creating jobs in professional services and contributing significantly to GDP. Places like Monaco, Jersey, or Guernsey have built entire economies around providing these financial services. However, they also face challenges. Their economies can become overly reliant on the financial sector, making them vulnerable to global economic shifts and regulatory crackdowns. There are also concerns about the corrosive effect of wealth concentration and the potential for reputational damage associated with being perceived as tax havens, impacting tourism and other industries that rely on public trust. The scale of offshore wealth is staggering. Estimates vary, but it is widely believed that trillions of dollars are held in offshore accounts globally. This represents a colossal amount of untaxed or undertaxed capital, which has profound implications for public services in countries around the world. When wealthy individuals and multinational corporations shift their profits to low-tax jurisdictions, governments lose out on crucial revenue needed for healthcare, education, infrastructure, and social programs. This creates an uneven playing field, where ordinary citizens often bear a disproportionately larger tax burden compared to the global elite. Public outcry and political will are slowly forcing change. Movements advocating for greater economic justice and accountability have targeted offshore tax havens, demanding greater transparency and stricter enforcement of anti-tax avoidance laws. Governments are under increasing pressure from their citizens and international bodies to close loopholes and ensure that everyone pays their fair share. This has led to initiatives like public registries of beneficial ownership, mandatory disclosures for multinational corporations, and sanctions against jurisdictions that are deemed uncooperative in the fight against financial crime. The landscape of offshore finance is in constant flux. As regulations tighten and transparency increases, the traditional secrecy model faces unprecedented challenges. Some jurisdictions are evolving, shifting focus from pure secrecy to specialized financial services within the bounds of new international norms. Others are struggling to adapt. The desire for privacy and tax efficiency remains, but the methods employed are becoming more sophisticated, and the scrutiny from global authorities is intensifying. The secret islands endure, but their operations are becoming increasingly exposed to the light of day, forever changing their role in the global financial order. Ultimately, the secret islands of offshore finance represent a complex and often controversial aspect of our globalized economy. They are not just geopolitical anomalies, but integral, albeit often hidden, components of the international financial system. They facilitate legitimate capital flows and investment opportunities for some, while for others, they offer a shadowy refuge for illicit gains and tax evasion. Understanding their evolving role is crucial to grasping the dynamics of global wealth, power, and the ongoing struggle for financial fairness. The quest for financial privacy and tax optimization will likely continue, pushing the boundaries of what is possible. But as the world becomes more interconnected and the demand for accountability grows, the once impenetrable fog surrounding these secret financial havens is beginning irrevocably to lift. The future will determine whether these islands can adapt to a more transparent world, or if their clandestine economies will ultimately be washed away by the rising tide of global regulation and public scrutiny. The story of offshore finance is far from over. The truth they hide can no longer be unseen.